and the elusive blonde morel. Hello, welcome to Applegate Outdoor Adventures. I am glad you could join me today on this hike up in the hills above Jacksonville, Oregon, where I am going to look for the blonde morels. Blonde morels are a natural morel that grow in the same places every year. They don't require a burn or any disturbed ground. They just like to grow where they grow. These trees with the orange bark are madrone trees. Where I am going today, there are some good-sized madrone trees, and I did find morels here last year, so I'm hoping to find some again this year. We have had an exceptionally cold winter this year, and it is about 15 degrees below normal right now, almost in the middle of April. Usually I would see ferns and miner's lettuce and all kinds of flowers growing by now, but there's not very many flowers blooming yet. It's mid-April, but the woods look more like it's the beginning of March. This camera probably does not show how beautiful it is out here. I'm so thankful to have a place like this that's only a couple miles from where I live. A couple small mushrooms growing on the trail. These are not blondes though. Those conica mushrooms are usually found in places where the ground has been disturbed or there has been logging. And sometimes they're found in burns too. The morel that I am after today is the blonde morel, also known as Morchella deliciosa. These are manzanita trees. Sometimes I find the blonde morels around these. They may actually be more considered a bush than a tree, but I've seen them tree size, and we may see some that big even today. These flowers make a good tea. There's another variety that has little apples on them, little tiny berries. And if you boil those and make a tea, add a little honey, they taste just like apple cider. If you watch this video to the end, I will show you how to cook morels. I will cook up whatever I find today, and I also still have what I picked on my last adventure and sitting in the refrigerator, and I will cook those up too. It is starting to snow. I have arrived at the mushroom patch. So far I don't see anything. Very unusual this time of year. We're still getting snow at this elevation. Oh, I'm not even seeing any babies up here. I don't see any stem cuts or any evidence that this has already been picked. It's not looking good for the blondes at the moment, although I do hear they're popping okay in lower elevations. Just not up this high yet. Good thing I brought my hat. Well, here are some little brown mushrooms that remind me of psilocybins, but they're pretty big. I think I'll leave these ones alone. Well, looks like we're starting to get some snow and graupel. This plant is a feathery looking plant that grows low on the ground. It is called yarrow. It has been used medicinally for thousands of years. for many purposes. Ancient people used to stuff these under their feet in their sandals to ease the aching feet when they were walking long trails. Looks like we might get a thunderstorm. Always nice to see a trailside mushroom. Now, this is my first time hiking this trail, so I don't know if there's any mushroom patches or what I'll find. Maybe I'll get lucky. The Gentner's fritillary is a rare and endangered species that only grows in southern Oregon in a couple places in the Rogue Valley and in the Applegate Valley. It is illegal to pick these flowers. Just take only pictures. I will leave this one alone. Even though fritillaries are edible and delicious, they are too scarce to pick. The Indian paintbrush has many medicinal uses, one of which is for relieving pain. This plant has been used for thousands of years medicinally by the Native Americans. The flowering red currant. This little thorny plant is a wild rose. It's one of several varieties that grow in southern Oregon. This one has small rose hips, about that big, and they come up in late summer and are best harvested after the frost. And the elusive blonde morel. Funny thing happened on the way to the blonde patch. But the good news is, I only had to explain the joke twice. Well, it's time to head back down the hill and cook up those mushrooms. Morel should be cooked for about 20 minutes, sometimes longer, depends on how crispy you like them. Since I'm going to be putting these on a pizza, 20 minutes should be enough because they're going to get more cooking in the oven. Cook the mushrooms till all the moisture has been fried out of them, and all you have left is the oil that you started with. After frying the morels, I will retain the oil that's left over and mix that in with my pizza sauce for extra flavor. For my pizza sauce, I will be using the oil that's left over from frying the mushrooms, some garlic powder, grated Parmesan cheese, crushed red pepper, and a packet of tomato ketchup to give it a little color, and some mayonnaise to hold it all together. For the pizza crust, I'm using some focaccia bread, which I have cut in half. First, I will spread some mayonnaise on the bread, just a little. Then I will add the pizza sauce I just made. And spread it around real good. Add the onions. Add some more cheese. And the morels. And it's ready for the oven. I will pop this in my toaster oven on the bottom rack, put it on broil, which is 450 degrees with just the top burner going, and cook it for about 25 minutes. And there's the finished product, a Morel pizza. Mukbang time. Okay, let's see how this is. That is awesome. The best mushroom pizza I've ever had. Oh, if I keep doing this, I'm going to get fat. Man, I can't tell you how good this is. You're just going to have to get out there and pick some of these and make one yourself. It's got just that right amount of spiciness. And cheesy goodness with onions. Well, thank you for watching. This is Phil with Applegate Outdoor Adventures. And always please remember, there's nothing like running into your ex out in your mushroom patch and meeting her new boyfriend. Cheers. Boy, these morels turned out perfect. Nice, and some of them are nice and crunchy. The tipper I just fed you yesterday.